and they've beaten you 5 times in a row at this tournament. So it's a tough ask, right? We have now seen 3 games, I would say, out of the 5 where I'm like, hey, TL could win this. You know, they have a real shot. This, I think, was the closest, even closer than the 6K one, just because it was so late in the game that, you know, if you nail that engage, if you are able to win that fight, the game literally just ends because the res timers are too long, right? But that is what makes T1 T1. That is what makes the top teams the top teams, is that, as I've said 1,000 times, love it or hate it, the meta is team fighting. At the end of the day, everything else is just a vehicle to set up your team fight in League of Legends currently. And so split push, laning phase, picks, stealing camps, everything is just to make you stronger for the team fight. If you can't win a team fight, you can't win a game. And T1 has been better in 5 games in a row than TL in the team fighting, right? And that is really the biggest difference. TL has had their moments. They have won team fights, but never the last team fight. And all team fights are not built equal in League of Legends. If you win one at 40 minutes, the Nexus explodes. If you win one at 10, you get a gold lead.
Get a gold lead. We'll give you a little gold star on your shirt if you want it, but you're not getting the Nexus, you're not getting the win. Now the first pick, though, coming in for the side of T1. They did opt for first pick. TL once again had a side selection, so opted to go for blue. Taking their time here. What is the option going to be? Camille still remains perma-banned. Vi was let through this time around and will be allowed. Picked up now for Oner.
Oh, so TL our first pick this time. So,
no, same as last game. T1 or first pick.
Nope. It's looking, or am I? Oh, I'm crazy. Yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm completely spacing out.
You're good.
Yeah.
We just cast the highest kill game ever.
I think I just passed out.
Reset from the brain. Reset.
Yeah. All right. So it's Vi coming in. I don't know why my brain just did not see Vi. Naafiri, pretty common answer to the Vi. It is something that Jose is very comfortable on. You can win out in the duels. There's obviously a lot of great uses for your immunity. The Vi ult as well as the Q. You can actually immune and avoid. And Jose loves playing in his opponent's face on this champion because you're so adept at actually jumping in and out of the jungle, going over walls, stealing away camps. So I do think it's something that really fits his style, but it is something that kind of needs a comp built around it. It's kind of similar to Nocturne in that way, where it's like, you don't just want Nocturne and no one else that wants to dive, right?
Sure,
then
absolutely.
you can't really play. So Renekton makes a lot of sense here, is absolute comfort for Morgan. And the question is, where does Doran want to take us? Will he just go towards something like a Zaahen and just kind of say, you know what, I'm just playing to be that brick wall and set up for the team fights. I just need to not die, and we will be chilling.
Cassio currently the hover. Would be blind.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say, Quid is not an Anivia guy. You know, so like, that's not available. I feel like he's probably just going to go Victor, to be honest. If I was to guess what Quid would go from here.
Okay.
It's going to be Zaahen as the answer. So Doran just wants to scrap. And this is, to me, it's pretty 50-50 as far as the top lane matchup goes. It is kind of skill-based. I think there's, you know, different points of power for both sides. Quid considering the Galio, which would make it way more all-in as far as the dive is concerned. I was kind of thinking he would just go Control Mage for Control Mage. But, you know, this is definitely another powerful option here. And we have to see, you know, what kind of style of game they want to play. I mean, if you go Galio, you are really committing to full dive. Yep. And I do think it can be very difficult to dive into both Zaahen and Cassio. So I can't say I love the direction of the draft in the first 3, because if you don't one-shot Zaahen just Grim Deliverance, drops down to your whole team, you're trying to fight through him, and he is just AoEing you. And you're trying to dive onto Cassio through Miasma and Petrifying Gaze. It can work, but it's tough.
Yeah, I think the burden of execution, even if TL have a lot of, you know, the necessary hard CC, certainly is on them to make these combos work. T1 have the strength as a Zaahen champion who was recently buffed, but as you mentioned, you know, outside of those big team fight ultis, we still expect the lane to be relatively comparable.
Respect to the 3 Josedeodo fans out there in a sea of T1. They're fighting the good fight.
That they are. Will it be enough? Well, we're going to have to find out. Again, we see that Kalista banned away as banned game 1 as well. I think makes a lot of sense. Again, when you're going for a dive comp, you want to limit some of these champions with some free built-in protection, whether it's for themselves or for anyone else.
And Peyz is just, he's a freak on that champ, man. That guy is so good on Kalista. And Kalista is so good in the early game. And Peyz and Keria are the best bot lane duo.
I see what you're saying.
So that is problematic, right? You give the best players in the game one of the best early game champs, and then you tell them play safe. And it's kind of like, well, good luck.
Yeah, when you break it down for me, it does seem like the most obvious decision in the world, actually, to ban that away. Zig's also taken off the board. Again, this is a champion where you already see double 80 on the top side, and really nice to have the relative safety of the Ziggs who can play back and just ult on top of whatever's happening.
And they need AP, right? Because you're looking at the comp. Yeah, Galio is kind of magic damage, kind of, sort of, but let's be honest. Usually you go, you know, at most like one AP item, and then you're kind of going tanky. Sometimes people go more than that, so I think Mel and Ziggs, really, really smart bans. Not only are they champions that can kind of just mitigate and ignore a lot of the laning phase through wave clear, but they are champions that really round out the composition here that TL is drafting for, and they're compositionally good as far as throwing the ult in the backline on top of the Galio ult, you know, all of these types of tools. So I'm curious to see where they go. If they want to play something that enables dive, you could always go Sivir, you could go Jhin. I think those are picks that, you know, are relatively okay in lane, but the problem is Caitlyn's still up, so it's like if you go something like Sivir and you have a weak laning phase, then it could be really tough. So instead they're going to go Xayah, which obviously is always a great answer into the Vi, very easy to ult the ult from Vi. But that being said, you can really struggle against range in the 2v2, yeah. So I am worried about, like, what if they just go Caitlyn Karma or something like that, you know? Yeah, I know Karma's been nerfed a lot, but you could just go like a long-range pokey-style bot lane, rely on the Vi for engage, and just play to dominate the 2v2. And so that's my big concern, is they just go, yeah, Caitlyn Karma, Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn whatever. Instead, it's going to be Zeri Yuumi. I think almost for sure they're going to go Zeri Yuumi if they're going to lock the Zeri, but...
Makes a lot of sense, and you highlighted it well, right? But also, Xayah's a champion who, I think similar to the Victor that you mentioned earlier in the draft, so good when enemy champions have to fight into her, but she's not that 80 carry who can instantly follow up on whatever Galio Naafiri play you're trying to make, so bit of a disconnect there.
Okay.
Maybe instead...
Considering the Lulu, I mean, Lulu's great as well, right? You know, you have really, really effective peel. If you time your wild growth, you can actually knock the dash in from Naafiri, which is really frustrating for Naafiri. And it's going to make it really tough for Jose because you go in, you get polymorphed. Core, I feel like he's the kind of player who, we're down 2 games. If this is the pick, this is the pick, right? He's not going to be phased by the moment. If he believes it is the best pick, he's going to go blitz, win or lose. He's going to be okay with that because he believes it is the strongest pick. Whether or not you are actually going to go blitz, it's hard to know. I would respect the hell out of it, but Rakan is more common. He's got a world skin on it, and this is absolute comfort for him. It is going to facilitate the dive really, really well. And TL do have kind of a bit of a one-note comp here. You know, Xayah is kind of just following up. Obviously, you have the defensive ult to try to be able to deal with these melees that are going to be diving on you. But I feel like T1 want to kite back, and TL can only really click forward. Because to me, it's if I'm T1 and I'm Zeri, I'm Cassio, I am running backwards, and I'm just hitting you as I'm running backwards, and I'm making you fight through Oner and Doran on these melee champs, which I think is a really tall task.
It is certainly, especially when you're already down 2 games. This is the do-or-die composition from the side of Team Liquid Alienware, and while there's certainly a lot of comfort and a lot of power, again, the burden of execution is on them. We've seen the path to success with Peyz on this Zeri before. If he goes late, he wins games. Now, there's not a Yuumi strap to his back, so it might be a little bit harder, but overall, still has been that threat so consistently in those late-game fights. I don't think TL are going to want to let him get there. Very well could be the final game of the series. TL would need to be the first team to take us to a Game 4 in the entirety of play-ins. 3-0s across the board in every single series.
You know what? I think it's time to make an executive decision. We're going to send 2 through from play-ins.
Yep.
Top 2 teams.
Fair. Honestly fair.
You know, I want to see some more TL. They might not be, you know, able to take down T1 in the best of 5, but they can beat a lot of the other teams, I feel like, in the main stage. So we'll see. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to change the format here, and they're going to have to win 3 in a row if they want to earn it themselves, get there of their own merit.
But you tried, and that's the important thing.
I did. A man can dream.
The NA representatives is Peyz and Keria expected to be pretty comfortable in this early lane phase. They're not the most oppressive early on, but when you have a Lulu standing next to you up against a Rakan, it feels like a pretty favorable bot lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you do have that range advantage, right? But I do think it's a better level 1 than before. Unfortunately, Core did miss the Q, the Gleaming Quill, and it's such a big difference on these trades, not only because of the damage, but the positive trade of dealing the damage and getting the heal is so big. And he is going to be able to hit that one. A lot of Rakan's lane really is down to how many Qs can you hit, because that is going to allow you to chip them away and keep you topped off.
Yep. double value on the hit, getting the damage and the healing, double loss on that miss, so something we'll keep an eye on. Checking in on the early jungle pathing, it looks like T1 have laid down a bit of vision there to spot it out. But reminder, if you're watching MSI, you might as well get rewarded for it. You should get rewarded. You deserve it. So head on over to LoLesports.com, Isaac and anyone else, log in with your ride idea, and watch live for a chance to get those MSI 2026 drops. I think I will.
You can solo cast this one. I'll go log in.
Maybe this is like we could just talk about our boy Peyz, as it seems appropriate at this point in the series. We're going to have to hold that thought because there's a hot dog. There's a glizzy on the bottom side. He's looking to make himself known.
Core is still level 1, though. They need level 2 before they can even pretend that this could work.
Josedeodo on the way. Peyz jumping over the wall, going a completely different direction from Keria. You just cannot follow him. That would just take too much time. It's too uncertain. Good reaction from Peyz.
Yeah, he's going to lose a couple minions, so... You know, it's still a bit annoying, but well handled there by Peyz. The real question is, can Oner do anything about it? And this is Peyz stats from last game, 1532 damage per minute. That's the second highest damage per minute internationally all time. Number one, of course, is Sneaky, as everyone knew, back in 2017 on Caitlyn against WE in the World's quarterfinals. Back when C9 made those.
That's true. Back when they qualified for international events. Yes, flash from Faker. Nice little advantage for the mid lane matchup. But Oner, I think he's probably playing flashback from Core. Now they need to get the hell out. Polymorph already there on Yeon. Ball breaker, where's it going to go? Turns back. Instant reaction from Yeon is good, but it will not save his support.
Yeah, that's just beautifully played there by Oner. They knew that Core had used his flash, and then he had one charge of his E. So it's just kind of that mind game. And basically, Oner held the Vault Breaker so long that Core's second charge of his E is going to expire. He's got to use it, and then so he just has it timed out perfectly, gets in. And this is really just the anti-timing for TL. They had them in a position where they could actually 2v2 kill them. Keria is Keria is low. And then look at this. I mean, there's just nothing he can really do about it, because if you don't use that second E charge, you don't have a way out. You're dead. Yep. If you do, and Oner predicts perfectly, as he did, well, guess what? You're dead too.
Yeah, good patience, as you highlighted, really does make the difference in those key moments. Is some more trading on the top side. Morgan doing all right here, getting that prio early on, but not too great of an advantage quite yet. It's really only Oner and Peyz who are starting to build up those individual leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, there is no flash now on Keria, so no summoner is available for him. But the same is true on the side of TL. They're both missing their flashes. Yeon's going to have his barrier back, but you would love to see them try to take out Keria with no flash, but that's so tough to do. They have all these wards. You can see all the question mark things on Jose. They know exactly where he is, so Peyz and Keria should be really easily able to avoid that. And Quid is just kind of slowly getting whittled away on, is falling behind in CS.
Yeah. And we've seen TL fall behind in this series and find good fights to come back, but this is an especially difficult game to do it. Once you get your ults, you can see the angle with Core on this big engage pick. But again, if you fall too far behind, you highlighted it so well. It's just so easy for Faker and Peyz to kite back, to just step away from what is a very linear comp in terms of engage. You really need Core to be this unexpected element out of Fog of War, or it's pretty easy to flash back and win a fight.
Yeah, which we have seen him do, right? You know, we saw him have that big moment at the Dragon last time.
Now a bit of trading here. Arc and daggers from Josedeodo as he just immediately backs off. One of the strengths you highlighted on Naafiri, right? Pretty easy to get out of dodge on those short trades.
Going to be able to hop over walls, you know, take those trades. But Oner had the jump on him, and he's going to have to retreat because Faker had first move. And so this should be an easy dragon for T1. Bot lane has prio. Jose got pushed out top. Quid is pushed in mid. There's nothing TL really can do about it. So Yeon just going to be looking to clear this out. Of course, you know, they have vision on the dragon, so Yeon's not worried that he's about to get dove. That's why he can stay around when Core is basing. If they didn't have that ward, it's a lot scarier, right? Because Oner could be behind you in the brush.
Yeah, probably would have forced Core to stay as well, but good that TL were able to set up enough vision to ensure that they could get that wave for Yeon. Still falling behind a bit, but not too much, as both AD carries clearly just comfortable stacking their coals, trading waves back and forth.
Yep. And I mean, we saw kind of the early trades going the way of Peyz and Keria. But when Yeon and Core got it to a place where they actually could look for an all-in, that is when Oner is there, and that is the beauty of the top level of team play, right? There are these windows where in certain matchups you are going to be weak, you are going to be vulnerable, and you want your jungler there at that moment. Oner was there at the perfect time. Not only does he save them, he gets the first blood, which is going to be so nice for T1, who are again out to an early over 1K gold lead here at 6 minutes. Not as bad as last game by any means. Last game was 2K at 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But it is still obviously very bad, especially against a team that scales really, really well, as T1's does.
Yeah, and it's just, it's difficult. You would like for TL to be able to find a little bit more here in the early game, but T1 has just been so consistently ahead in that regard.
And another ward there caught Jose, so he has just been perma-warded out, it feels like, the whole game. As he finished off those Raptors, the ward expired from T1, but there were pings on him. They know exactly where he is, and that is making it very hard for him to really look for any angles. He does have level 6, as does Oner, and so their first look is going to be pretty big. You know, you're looking for Core and Jose to try to find that big engage, Quid to be there to follow it up, Morgan to be on a flank. It's got to be that kind of a beautiful play, really well coordinated, or I think you can expect Petrifying Gaze and Zeri kiting back and all of these tools to be used to easily disengage and then potentially chase down.
Yeah. Tough. Ooh, Ultra Shock Laser. Would have just clipped Yeon as he sidesteps here, forced to stay in lane. Peyz and Keria once again comfortable in the early stages, kind of as expected, but now with that late game scaling power is Faker about to get locked up. Miasma to try to disengage. Good patience coming in for Josedeodo, but an even better interrupt coming in from Oner. Josedeodo desperately tries to disengage the poison, not quite enough to finish him.
That was really well done by Oner. The Q flash into the ult, the perfect CC. Otherwise, Faker is dead, because Faker has no flash, mind you. It's just coming up now. So that was really well timed. And both Quid and Jose were able to predict and backstep and avoid the Petrifying Gaze. So beautifully done. But again, Oner to the rescue here. Saves the day in the bot lane, saves the day in the mid lane. It is going to cost him his flash as well as his ult, but this was beautifully timed. So again, they're trying to set this up. Really nice timing as Jose comes out of over the wall. The Petrifying Gaze avoided by both members, but then look at this. Q flash from Fog. So no way for Jose to actually react with the invulnerability. Yes, Jose does live thanks to the ulti magic shield that came down from Quid, but now Doran is moving here. Jose is coming. Faker has first move. This looks tough for TL.
On the way. Doran quickly trying to stack the pass as much as you can. Grim Deliverance coming out. Josedeodo targetable for a brief moment as he fires back on the daggers, but they don't miss. Instant flash in coming in from Morgan, trying to interrupt Oner as best he can. Oner right on top of Quid, flashing from Faker. Miasma to stop any potential fall. Josedeodo getting lower and lower, but the Dark and Daggers healing him up just in time. Morgan, desperate to kill Faker, knows he can't finish off Doran as long as that passive bar is stacked, and Doran happy to take him down.
Nicely done there by T1, winning out for a huge fight on the top side. The setup really wasn't there for TL. They were always kind of like down on health at the beginning of that fight. And it felt like T1 was always going to have the third man there faster. They don't have Galio ult. They don't have some of these really big tools. But they felt they needed to force. But, I mean, look at Quid at the start of this fight, right? He has very little mana, has basically no health. So Quid can't really do much of anything. I do think Morgan plays it well, but Doran stacks the passive, which means he's not a target. Morgan has to try to take down Faker, but Faker sinking in those Twin Fangs, kiting it out really, really well. And Quid, smile on his face, but you know that they can feel it slipping away.
And you already see how hard the extended fights are. Even with the dominance from Morgan, just the constant Twin Fang damage. Doran, the longer he stays in that fight, stacking up the passive, just getting more and more AD. That much harder to kill, especially once the passive revive is up and available. Has got another taunt in the mid lane. Oner there once again to cover. The gold lead growing to 2.3K. 2 grubs and the Drake. So T1 really not giving anything back to Team Liquid Alienware. And Doran, of course, a player we're highlighting. One of the big differences why we're seeing almost an even more dominant performance from T1 here is that he was falling behind in so many of the games in the previous series. This time around, not the same story.
Yeah, not at all. I think Morgan has played well overall for sure, but definitely was just destroying Doran in the last one. It's not been like that at all. Doran has outplayed him in this series, absolutely. Has had the bigger impact, it feels like. And so it is going to be really, really tough now because TL are playing this hard engage comp with what feels like 3 losing lanes at this point, and Jose's getting warded out everywhere, and T1 are getting all the objectives, right? So when you're in a spot like that, it is very, very tough, because if they see the engage coming, it's hard to imagine them dying to it, and TL are going to have to be picture perfect when they do actually pull the trigger and try to find a committed fight.
And the longer we go, the bigger that deficit gets, the higher and higher the stakes get for that big defining moment, that big fight. T1 in control the area. Vision already laid down as Peyz just tries to poke, chip away at health bars. Oner's attention still focused on the Drake. Jose might be looking to make it a 50-50. The only one he's won so far is when he was able to turn off the lights with Nocturne. Oner out of position. Drake going to the side of T1.
TL are going to try to zone them off, though. They're going to try to keep them away from bot lane. Yeon is going to go push, so Jose and Core are here to harass, while they're pushing in mid lane as well. So I still think this is pretty nice from TL. If you can't go for the fight, if you can't go for the smite fight, then you have to try to get what you can elsewhere. Peyz goes back to base. They're going to steal away a blue buff. They're going to zone him off, you know, maybe a couple minions. Not a huge amount, but...
Keria. Charm Flash, immediate ult's going to come through. Wild Growth now to follow. Peyz, though, happy for this. He knows they burned all their cooldowns, and they want to keep the fight going. Oner charging in. Q forward. Not quite enough range to engage, but the ulti coming out. Response ult there from Yeon.
Well handled on both sides, honestly. The Core does spend his flash, though, and that is the big difference. That's such an important summoner. Quid, though, getting behind them, and Faker's gone back to mid with no TP.
Faker not able to join. Quid looking to turn back on Oner. Instantaneous flash coming out. Josedeodo, the Darkened Daggers, got to keep track of that cooldown. If they land, it could be a big difference. Keria not going to get locked up, flashing his own way out. Lock up there onto Josedeodo. Quick dash over the wall, but Faker doesn't need the TP. He's arriving just in time on the flank. Yeon tries to turn it back, desperate to get a kill. Miasma onto 2, the taunt not enough. The petrifying gaze. Team Liquid turned to stone as T1 take the fight.
T1 up 4,000 gold, a triple kill for Peyz. And TL are in a world of trouble now if they weren't before. Down 4.5k, super fed Zeri, didn't even have to use the summoners on the fight. I respect the attempt from TL because they know they are going to kind of get outscaled. They need to go aggressive, but it's a great flash from Keria, which means the Galio ult does nothing. Then they're focusing Jose. TL can't fight on top of the tower because they'll get destroyed by it, so they're forced to just retreat. And Faker had just booked it down to bot lane, even though he didn't have the TP. They delayed enough that he arrives, hits a petrifying gaze, takes out Yeon, and it is everyone gone from TL. 4 kills to 0 there. And TL are going to be in so much trouble. Peyz is ridiculously fed. Going to be working towards that second item, about to cash in on his call.
Oy.
It's tough.
It certainly is. You know, Isaac, they say no one is above the law, but T1 is certainly above TLAW at this point in the game. There is, it's looking grim. And look, I still...
I hate you.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
Very funny.
Little dad
Daniel.
joke, lighten the mood, you know, when you're getting stomped. Let's take a look at the Coinbase Gold Grind. Flawless segue.
Good news here, Shirley.
No, really.
No.
Cut the tape.
Bring it down. Get it down there.
Thank you, Coinbase, but
the stats aren't always indicative.
Telling us what we already know. You're right, they aren't, but in this case they are, as Oner might be solo killing Morgan. Very close. No, he's not. Morgan bringing it back as Quick engages with Doran on the bottom side. Grim Deliverance trying to get back. Faker hoping for the 1v1. Fury bar stacked, but he can't get wiped back into the book. Nice healing coming in from Morgan. Morgan! 2 members back to back. 2 1v1s. He gets it. Resurrection coming in from Doran. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, backs up Morgan. Are you kidding me?
From nowhere, a little bit of hope here for TL as Morgan comes to life here. He is behind and he just 1v2 took out Oner and Faker there. That was brilliantly done by Morgan. Doran does survive on the bot side, so they can't get the shutdown there, and they're still down 5k. But
you said sliver. It's sliver of hope.
A sliver of hope.
We might get a whole piece of hope.
I can't even see it, but I can smell the hope.
You can smell the hope. You can see not in the circular graph of which team has hope. But
it's like a molecule of hope.
Yeah, on the side it says that there's a 0.01 or something.
I need a high-powered microscope.
Get the electron microscope
Someone
out.
get me the Hubble telescope.
We know it's there. We have to find it. It's still grim.
Somewhere we're searching the skies.
Yeah, well played by Morgan. Really punishing, I think, over-aggression there from T1. It has been so key to keeping a lot of these games close. But at this point in the game, it does feel maybe a bit too far gone. Though we'll see what the next plays have in store for us. You're right. I take it back. It's a close game. Anybody could take it.
Never say never. We'll see if Morgan can make some magic happen. But T1 very well set up for this Herald. It's going to be really tough to get in. And when you're this far behind, we'll see.
Oh, knock up there. Ulti going in onto Peyz. Peyz, though, just so fast. Ulti already popped, just getting so much additional movement speed. Oner looking for the lockup. Galio finally coming in, but as is the Grim Deliverance. TL getting a little bit more. Is Morgan now on a killing spree. Josedeodo off to the side, but he can't re-engage. 1 for 0 in TL's favor.
Really well handled there by TL, and then they actually kite out Peyz ulti. So they are going to be able to stop him from just chasing them down, but that really is all they do because the Herald still did go to T1. He's by a wall.
He feels like he's just teasing him. Nice backstep from Jose, but Faker fast enough to zoom out of that one.
Yeah, they're going to try to get the objective bounty, which has spawned, but this is tough. T1 is still around here. Oner is running from base. Faker is going to base, has no TP, so T1 making the call to just give it up. So will be an objective bounty, so more than just the one kill is actually gained at the end of the day. TL playing some of these skirmishes really well. As I feel like they have in a number of games, but it is always just so tough. You win some early skirmishes, you get some little advantages, but this team is just so tough to actually knock down. It's very rare that T1 just collapses in a team fight, you know, that you can actually get the whole thing. Sometimes you just get a little bit, you get a slight edge, but then when T1 get their fight, it feels like they wipe you, they get so much more, and that is kind of the devastating effect that they seem to have in these fights.
You land a blow, you get a little chip on the paint, they land a blow, you're dead. You're
whoops. You got punched through the wall.
You punched through the wall. It's a little bit tough. And at this point, it only gets harder as the goal discrepancy continues to grow. And really, again, Peyz, the hero of the series in so many of these games, especially Game 2, and most certainly here, looking set up to do so by his support Keria in Game 3. 2.5 items, and the later we go, the harder it is going to be to lock this man down. And you can see the few attempts that Team Liquid Alienware have been close, but not enough to actually get that kill, not enough to actually shut this man down.
And Morgan getting pressured here on the bot side. Herald is there. Can't really do much about this defense. They're trying to play on the other side, but Faker is a tough dive under the tower at full health and stacking up towards that Seraphs. Would love to have that shield. Is going to be working in towards Catalyst here. And looks like Doran going to just drift his way out.
Not too far, though. Wants to recall. Not interested in taking the full
He's
ride.
trying to get his steps in, buddy.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. You got to be
not a lazy top lane.
That's true. Healthy lifestyle. You got to respect it.
Yeah.
Morgan, he tried. He had a good fight on the top side, and does have the dominance in level 13. And I mean, that Renekton ult can do a lot of work, but again, I think we painted a pretty clear picture here. The later we go, the harder it gets. But for Peyz, finally on his lonesome might be the angle, but he still had the flash. The extra damage with the dagger is not there. Yeon now in trouble. Heal going in. Ulti coming up from Yeon. Flash forward from Oner. The extra shield from the barrier. Getting a bit more space. Quid on the way. Trying to get him out with the taunt. The shield is there, but Doran might just finish it. Pulls him right back in. No escapes today.
Peyz survives there. The one darkened dagger missing from Jose means they don't quite have the damage to take him down. And despite some good reactions from Yeon as Oner was going forward, it just didn't matter. T1 now 6.6k ahead, pushing on this tower. Faker wasn't even there. He's pushing top lane. And T1 just keep getting away with these fights, as they always seem to do. They always seem to get out with just that blinking health bar. Equal to the task once again.
Well played. Again, landing both the daggers, so crucial for Josedeodo, but just that little miss, that little difference adds up. And we expected to see the big 5-on-5s. We expected to see the big fights from this composition, but Team Liquid haven't found those angles. They found little pick opportunities, but even those have been going awry. Only makes it that much harder as Doran now debating if he wants to run into Morgan here.
Yeah, and Faker just looked for a pick and a brush. You can see Core is low and Faker has no ult. So 2 + 2 equals a petrified gaze.
Yep.
And we'll see this one more time. So here it is. This one darkened dagger does miss. It looks like over to the right. Peyz, flashing the second as well. So maybe part of the first one tagged him. It's hard to tell because it is kind of a fat animation. The second one definitely got avoided there by Peyz, so well played by him. Yeon is able to cancel the Vial and has the barrier, lands a nice root, but Quid realizes the fight is done, so he doesn't even want to go in there and try to peel for Yeon. Eventually someone was going to get one auto on Yeon and he would just die, so Quid decides he's just got to try to get out of there and live to fight another day.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. Reminder that at the conclusion of this series, which of course will be in 2 games when we go to Silver Scrapes, we'll be having the draw. Now, people have already kind of done the math on the draw. We know the winner of this will play against BLG. G2 are already set to play TES. But if you're an NA fan, finding out who Lion plays is going to be very important for your mood after this particular series. So be sure to stick around.
Well, we can't play BLG, so that's a dub.
That's pretty good.
And we can't play T1.
So that's
another dub. But you know what?
You could play.
I'm kind of down to see them play anyone. It'll be fun. Main stage is going to be a lot of fun, seeing all the #1 seeds coming in from all these different regions. It's going to be exciting to see how they can perform. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by Furia as well. I think they're a really strong team, so it should be fun to watch a lot of these teams, the big names as well as those who aren't as well known. But we'll see if TL can find a way to hang on in this game where T1 have 2 dragons to 1 and looking for a chase down here.
Quid just trying to make his way out. We'll get the retreat, but is forced away that side lane. Not getting any easier.
No, it's going to be tough. And Quid has no TP. Faker does. So Faker can just continue to play towards that top side while T1 do look to set up around this dragon. It's probably unlikely that they're going to be able to contest it very effectively, but you know, TL basically just have to make their judgment. They know they're insanely behind. They know that Peyz is on 3 items with an IE at 21 minutes. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, they're not blind to that fact. Basically, every fight will look like a bad fight. You are looking for the fight that looks like as good as you can get.
Fight. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Even
it's like
fight is a miracle at this point.
A 1%er is probably what most of the fights are. So if you see a 5% chance, you are going to take it, and that's where they are. That's what they have to try to look for. Now, they are aware, I think, that T1 could be trying to sneak this, but the question is, can they get over there?
It's a good question. So much vision. Josedeodo spotted TP there. Jose has access to the flash. The miasma slowing him down, opting to retreat instead of go deeper and try to play for the 50-50. Ulti in from CoreJJ. Peyz immediately gets out and turns to punish. Yeon going right back in the air. The feathers pulling back. It's good damage, but it is simply not enough. Peyz too quick on the trigger. Core's engaged. Not enough. Oh, they're going to look to set him up. That's the triple. Looking for 4. The entire team ready to tank. Oh, Quadra coming in.
He's looking for the Penta. He wants to get it.
A Penta to finish it.
And what better way to do it? Peyz gets the Penta kill here to seal the deal.
Incredible stuff from the side of T1. Undefeated through the entirety of the plans. No doubt they were the favorites, but this level of dominance is incredible to see. A last desperate hold from the 2nd seed of the LCS. They played their heart outs, but it was not enough in the face of the 3-time champs. T1 taking their time, taking it to the fountain, sending a message to all the teams waiting in the main stage, and especially to BLG as they clean sweep Team Liquid Alienware.
The king is coming. Faker and T1 on their way to the main stage. They never get knocked out early in tournaments. They always are there for the deep runs. And it's this level of dominance, this level of consistency that shows you why they are always able to win the day. And T1, very impressive in this series. TL, I think, can be proud that they pushed them, that they had some close games, they had some good performances, but it's just not enough against a team of this caliber. T1 always coming up big in the clutch moments, whether it was a smite from Oner, whether it was those shock blasts, those hero plays from Doran, whether it was a miraculous team fight from Peyz, a brilliant engage from Faker or Keria. There is always one member there ready to step up and take over a game, and TL just could not get past them.
TL clean swept KC, can feel good about that one. We're not able to make a dent T1's undefeated streak, but as you highlighted, so many good moments, so many good performances, montage moments in some of those series, especially from Josedeodo. But that's enough from us here to talk more about T1's victory and look ahead to the draw show. It's the Analyst Desk.